Welcome to the Insight Through Experience podcast. Podcast created to provide information about what life is like inside the most specialized special tactics organization in the U.S. Air Force. In these episodes, we'll be bringing you the experiences from many of our experts, ranging from our human performance optimization staff, our combat mission supporters, as well as our special warfare operators. Our main objective with these podcasts are to provide the listener with a unique look inside our culture of excellence. Now, sit back, relax, take some notes, prepare to hear from some of the Air Force's finest. Thank you for joining us on the Insight Through Experience podcast. Welcome back to the Insight Through Experience podcast, everybody. This is Mr. Free, and this is my last episode on the podcast, and I'll be handing it off to my replacement coming in right behind me. I wanted to come on, have one last episode, just to kind of just riff on some things and my experiences at the organization and where we've been when it comes to this podcast and so many other things. Obviously, I've been there almost half of my life inside that fence line, and it means a lot to me. That organization means a lot to me. The unit absolutely has been the biggest part of my life besides my family for the last 25 years. So as I reflect back on it, how special that place is, I just want to come on here and share with you folks a little bit of my thoughts. Now, this might sound like rambling at times or the whole time because I'm just going to free flow this. A couple of things that come to mind, especially if you are already in special tactics or in rescue and you're sitting out there in the AFSOC or the ACC world and you're looking around the landscape and you're like, this isn't what I imagined it would be when I came in, when I saw those recruiting posters or videos, or when I had a conversation with the people. Like, this doesn't match my expectations. The reality that you thought would be waiting for you when you came out of the pipeline, that reality still exists, but it exists up at our place. It exists at our unit, and that's never going away. We know as the wars died down, all the things that AFSOC and ACC were focused on went away as well. So now what's left is, the big power competition, or whatever we're calling it these days. Basically Russia and China, and then some rogue actors like Iran, some other things. So what you're dealing with where you're at, outside the fence line, is where are we going next? And how are we going to plug in as either special tactics or combat rescue? How are we going to plug into that picture? And you've already gone down some paths, and you're way down some paths in some instances, and some of you have been on some deployments. And I've heard from you, and you looked around and said, this doesn't seem like what I wanted to be doing when I came in. I went through a whole lot of specialized training to do this. I hope some of you find satisfaction in what you're doing, but I also hope that there's something deep inside that feels like it's missing to you, so you will come up and give our organization a try. This might sound a little brash, and maybe I'm a little more courageous as I'm stepping out of the seat, but you need to look in the mirror and ask yourself this: regardless of all other variables, is going to that organization, is that going to make me better? Is that going to put me into the opportunities that I thought existed when I came in? If I position myself up there, will I have more opportunities to do my job? The answer that should be coming back at you at resounding noise levels is yes. This is the place to go if you want to do what you were trained to do. And that's the bottom line. Everything else beyond that is just noise. So quit thinking about the decision and make the frickin' decision. Now, I'm not stupid. I'm not blind. I understand that there's other variables weighing on you. Let's just say the largest one is usually family. We understand that. And that's why when the pressure on the family and force, or the force and family, came about well over a decade ago, we use those funds and we build up a robust network that supports you so you can do your job more effectively and also supports the family side. So you can trust that your family is healthy, happy at home, as long as you did what you were supposed to do before you left so you can go do your job. We value families immensely at our organization because we know you need a clear head, a clear mind to be able to do what you do for the nation. So we take care of them and offer resources to keep you and your marriage and your family stronger throughout your assignment here. So other than that variable, if you live in Fort Walton Beach, Florida, or one of the surrounding areas, I know it's nice. Florida's awesome. But I'm telling you, Pinehurst, Southern Pines, Whispering Pines, isn't bad living either to get a chance to do what you came in to do. So it isn't like we're living in Fayetteville on Ramsey Street or down by the mall somewhere. Like, we get to live in an extremely cool place inside of Moore County. And, it's a short drive to the compound. We don't work on Main Side. We work in our own little place. We have great facilities. We have great support staff. Our organization has grown to over 700 people. When I got there, it was right around 100. So the support surrounding you is immense. It's just a good time to come up and become or join the organization. Join someone or an organization that is focused on the future, but also we're baselined in a mission that's never going to go away for the nation. It's been there since I've been there. It was there for decades before I ever got there. And this same mission is going to be there for eternity because it's why we exist. It's why the command we work for exists. You should come up and be a part of it. Now, how do you do that? You're going to have to put in an application. Let's take a step back. You're going to go to our website. The link is in the description of this podcast, so just go down to the description and click on the link. And on that webpage, you'll find a lot of information, a lot of cool pics, some things that you may or may not have known about the organization. But least of all, there's going to be a link to the application on there. Now, once you click on that link, you're going to go in and it's an electronic application that you're going to fill out on a website. And then once you submit that application is going to get sent after reviewed by one of the recruiters to the Phase 1 board. And those happen 4 times a year, roughly about a month before the selection process happens, the TDY portion, what we call Phase 2. So during the Phase 1 board, the recruiters are presenting the information. We're reviewing how many slots for each AFSC that we have available, how many guys we want to bring to fill in each of those slots. And then the commander is going to make the final decision of who the class is going to be. We usually bring as many people as we can. We're not trying to turn people away in Phase 1. We often try to convince ourselves of why we should bring people in Phase 1. But sometimes we just have more applications than we have positions, and we have to cut some people out with the opportunity to reapply the next election, and maybe the numbers will work out for you. So that's kind of how the Phase 1 process works. What trips you up during Phase 1, what's going to get you non-selected in Phase 1 faster than anything, are poor decisions by you. We're talking DUIs. We're talking getting in trouble at work. We're talking commanders sending in their evals on you, saying this guy just doesn't seem focused. He seems lazy. He's not my go-to guy. Maybe your team leader saying some similar things. Man, those are red flags to us. If you're getting to hire your best players for your NFL team, you wouldn't bring those players. You wouldn't hire those players out of the combine. In fact, you wouldn't even bring them to the combine. So same thing for us. So what can you do to make your application more attractive during Phase 1? Wake up every day, do your job to the best of your ability. Show your commanders, your team leaders, and your chief that you add value, not just in your job, but you're willing to do everything that the organization needs to be successful. Last but not least, you just stay out of trouble. You make good decisions. We want to see people who have a history of good decision making, because that predicts that you will probably come up and make good decisions at our place too, especially when we surround you by the highest caliber of operator that exists in the Air Force. When that becomes your environment, we know if we find at least the foundational traits of people in Phase 1 to bring to Phase 2, often they have a good chance of success to getting picked up in phase 2 and phase 3. So that's the TDY portion. And then we'll bring them to OTC and make them into elite operators. So back to the main point, there's no reason you don't volunteer for this organization if you've already gone through the pipeline and you've already put in the sweat and the equity to become an operator. There is no reason that you don't put in your application and come up here. We've had tons of people that have families. If you're a good husband and you have a strong marriage outside of this place, you will be a good husband and have a strong marriage inside this place. Now, if you're a weak husband and you don't do the things you're supposed to do as a dad or a husband, or you're having family problems, this place is not the place for you, because this will break those marriages and family structure faster than anything. So again, just some mentorship from me. Have a strong family, have that foundation set, put in your application, come up here, and enjoy the ride. All right, some other things that have been on my mind. We run 4 selections a year to fill the next year's OTC class. So in 2024, we ran 4 operator selections, and we hired people that we're going to bring in PCS here in late spring, early summer to begin OTC during summer, usually right after the 4th of July. Some of the weaknesses that I noticed maybe in 2024, guys are coming up here like there is no process anywhere, not in AFSPEC War when you're coming to Lackland, not in any other organization's selection or assessment selection process, anywhere that I can find on the internet or in any literature that provides you more preparation material than we do. What's disturbing with that often are guys will show up to selection and they didn't use the material, or they knew an event was coming like land nav, and then you ask them why did they perform so poorly, and you said, how did you prepare? And the guys were like, yeah, I really didn't do any land nav. Wow, make that make sense to me, folks. Like, if you're going to come up, I don't want you to wait. The process, this isn't something you need to prepare for 2 years. But how long does it take to go out and do a couple of land nav reps out on your base, or have somebody sit down and with a map and compass with you, or issue you some land nav problems where you're having to plot an azimuth in your course and your route on a map and then check you? It's easy. There are things that you need to be prepared for when you come up here to increase your chance of getting selected. And when you don't do those things, to the NFL team that's trying to see if you're worth putting on the field on Sunday, why would we hire that? The fact is we wouldn't. So it isn't just land nav. I'm just using that for an example. But guys totally underprepare for that because I think they have found success in the past, maybe the pipeline, and they were like, yeah, I don't really need to train for that. Folks, you are, man, I don't even know how to foot stomp it hard enough. Guys will come up and didn't prepare. They didn't listen to the podcasts. They didn't listen to our attribute podcast before they came up here. And they're kind of behind everybody else that did. Because the ones who took the time to listen, and how hard is it, man? Click on the freaking podcast on your way to work and then on your way home. That doesn't take any time away from your home life. Doesn't take any time away from your work life. You can listen to them by yourself in your car or when you wake up drinking your coffee. Figure it out. Do the prep work to come up here so we can get a good look at you. But those attribute podcasts and listening to other podcasts of candidates who had just gone through the process and given you their experience, man, they tell you exactly what to prep for, physicality-wise, mental-wise. And one of the biggest things and challenges that guys face up here, and they all say it, is, well, there's 2 things. I should have done more public speaking in front of people and made it hard on myself, because it's going to be hard when you get to selection, because you're going to be speaking in front of people a lot. And not only just speaking, you're not just reading something. You're having to think while you're speaking critically. You're having to think critically while you're speaking to the evaluators. And that's tough on people. And they all wish they'd have done a little bit more. And then problem solving. Thinking about things in novel ways. We suck at it in the military. Wherever you are, I don't care what unit you're at, I promise you, you're not doing much problem solving. What you're doing is following formats and just plugging in data into the format. When you come here, there are no formats. We're going to give you some unique problem you've never tackled before, and we want to see you use facets of problem solving, which, by the way, are on the website. We want to see you work through that algorithm and come up with unique solutions that make sense, that could work, and we want to watch you work with others to develop those solutions. That's it. That's what we're looking for. You can prep. We give you tons of resources on the website. Like, I'll quit sitting here trying to foot stomp it because all the resources are on the website. And maybe the most beneficial is that mental prep doc that our sports psychologist, Doc Ben Wellborn, put on the website. So if you scroll down the website and look under selection prep materials or whatever it's called and go to the mental prep side, download that document. That document, it's unlike anything that I've seen out anywhere on the internet. And he created that to help you prep for selection. And it's also great to just be a better human, to be a better performer at whatever you're doing. All right, enough of that operator selection prep stuff. If you want the best chance, if you don't want to waste your time and our time when you come up here, do the prep. That doesn't mean delay for years. That means get on the internet, start doing the prep now if this is a goal of yours in the future. All right, I don't want this to get too long. Let me just throw my thanks and gratitude out to the audience that listens to these. I get a lot of comments and a lot of emails and a lot of responses that always have just kept me so motivated to keep these going. And it is so hard to produce social media coming from a unit like ours. Look at the other organizations comparable to ours, and you won't find anything except for retired guys, outside of the milieu talking about their past experiences, trying to bring you current stuff on a public-facing website or podcast. It's hard. So I've enjoyed the struggle. I've enjoyed trying to uncover a little bit about what we do up here to pique your interest and to help you realize that this is a special place filled with special humans where you get to do special things that you were trained to do. So thank you to the audience. Now, where's Mr. Free going? I am retiring. And what does that mean? I don't know. It just means I'm not coming to work after January the 11th, and we'll figure it out from there. I will continue to create content on my own personal stuff, and I will include those links in the podcast description below. And if you're listening somewhere like Spotify or wherever, if you just click on the descriptions, the links will be down there. But if they're not, or if they're not live, you can go to YouTube and click on this video, and then in the description down there, they'll have live links to my other channels. Now, why is that important? Because I'm not giving up on the community. I'm not going to be a specific recruiter for this place, even though all of my experiences in my entire adult life almost have been at this place. So I will continue to use examples, analogies, my experiences up here on my other channels to make points and to drive home some of the lessons that I'm trying to, that I've learned that I'm trying to get back out to you. Now, my channel that I've had for years is called Early Riser 71. That is on YouTube. That started as a hiking channel back when I hiked the Appalachian Trail in 2017 and subsequent trails after that. But I am kind of turning that into a just click record when I have some deep thoughts and share those with the audience. Some of those are going to be really helpful for you. In fact, me being a special operations guy and minded guy, I think most of them will help you as a special operations guy or as just a human, or if you're just a girl out there just struggling at work or finding meaning in life. I think a lot of what we're going to talk about on that channel will help you out. So click on that link, go over, subscribe so you get videos when they drop. The other channel I'm creating is called The Operator's Mind. I've got a YouTube channel. I'm about to start posting content on there. And I also have a Substack. And all of this is going to be focused on the challenges that operators have mentally and some techniques and some tools to use to help increase your performance from a mental capacity. I've spent a lot of years asking people, I put them in the scenario, hey, if you're on the battlefield and you're in a big firefight and you're having to do your job, whether it's medical, whether it's controlling casts, whatever it may be. Things are chaotic. Operators are running around everywhere. You're having to keep up with them and also keep up with your duties. And then I ask them, out of 100%, you only get 100% to work with. How much are you taxed mentally and how much are you taxed physically in that moment, in the moment you've been training for your entire career? And it always comes up to 80-20, maybe 85-15. Some people say 90-10. Mental over physical. And then I say, okay, cool. Now I want you to just close your eyes and I want you to think about your training regimen every day. And how much are you applying to mental and how much you're applying to physical? And every single time, those numbers are reversed. They spend 85 to 90% of their time doing physical stuff, getting ready for their job, and 20, 15, 10% of time getting their mind ready. Folks, that does not make any sense whatsoever, but I was stuck in that rut too when I was operating. So I have woke up years ago and realized how important the mind is. Again, that's why that document that Doc Ben had hung on our website is so important. If you just use that, you'll increase your performance to levels that you can't even imagine right now. We can't even quantify it because not a lot of people are doing things like that. So we don't even have a baseline of how much that's going to raise your performance, but you should start there. But you should also go over and subscribe to the Operator's Mind YouTube channel, and I'll put a link in the description, and some content will be coming out on there soon. Last but not least, I've got 2 Substacks. I think I said at the Operator's Mind. I've already sent out a link on our Instagram. At one point, I'll send out another one before I relinquish over our social media. But I'll also link to my Early Riser Substack as well. And I'm going to talk about things on there that many of you will enjoy and can use to be a better performer, better human. All right, y'all. I hope all of you have a wonderful life. I hope to see you over on my other channels so we can continue getting better and moving forward. And last but not least, I hope you still come back here to the Insight Through Experience podcast to where you can keep abreast on what one of the most special organizations in the entire world is doing and how you can become a part of it. And that's whether you're an operator, whether you're a combat mission supporter. Go to the website, see if your AFSC exists up here, and get your application in, contact a recruiter, and come be a part of the magic. All right, let me thank each of you for what you do, just for being a human. Hopefully you're just striving every day to be a good human, and man, I'm grateful for that. I'm also grateful for what you're doing for the country, whether you're a supporter or whether you're an operator. Thank you for waking up every day and getting at it. All right, I will see y'all on my other channels, hopefully in the future. I hope y'all have great holidays. Take care of your families. We'll see you next time.